All right, good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be starting off with data handling, okay? And I'm going to get you to do some projects of your own using data handling. I thought I'd just introduce you to some of the basics. So, first of all, what is data handling? Okay, so data handling um, is a way of collecting information. It's collecting information on a certain topic or on people and what they are doing or some activity that they're involved in. Okay, it's collecting information to most times to make a decision or to be able to analyze that data and see whether it's useful for some other reason. Okay, there's many different ways or reasons that we collect data, but mostly it's to make a good decision. So data handling, first of all, starts off with collecting data. Okay, collecting data is usually a survey that is sent to somebody. So it can be, for example, let's say we want to find out what fruit to have at the tuck shop. So we would put together a survey that's to the grade, let's say the grade R's and the grade ones, the grade twos that says, what fruit do you like? And they can either choose oranges or apples or pears or bananas. Okay, and they would then this is collecting information from people to say what fruit they would like to buy at lunchtime. Okay, this is collecting data. Once we've collected that data, we're going to take in the survey forms. Let's say we've used survey forms. We collect all the survey forms from the kids. Okay, and then we're going to put it into, say, like here, for example, it's a tally system. Okay, so in this particular case, there were 9 people who wanted oranges, there were 8 people who wanted apples, there were 7 people who wanted bananas, and so on and so forth. Okay, we now use this tally system, and there are many different ways of organizing data. This is one of them. So this tally system that is shown in this picture will actually show you how to organize the data that you've collected. Okay, once you've got this raw data, now we want to put it into a way that's easy to see. Okay, so these are two different ways that we use. One of them is a bar chart. That's on your left-hand side here. You've got a bar chart. This has got nothing to do with the fruit, but just gives you an example of what a bar chart looks like. On the right-hand side is a pie chart. Okay, a pie chart uses percentages to show what is more popular than one thing is more popular than another. Okay, once we've got that data, okay, the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to analyze and interpret the data. Okay, this is taking that data that you can now see nicely in a chart or in a graph, and it is actually making sense of it. So what am I going to do? Okay, now I can see, say for example, if I go back to my original example of fruit, I can see in my graph or my pie chart that one fruit is more popular than another. Okay, and then I will know that that is the fruit that I'm going to be selling in the tuck shop. Okay, that's just a random example. Okay, and I'm going to run through a video just to show you how we put together a graph from particular information that we collect. Okay, so this survey came to the grade 6 class. Let's say this is grade 6H, and in grade 6H there are 24 kids, okay, and they want to know what sport the kids want to play. What is their favorite sport? Okay, and by finding out what their favorite sport is, and by doing this with every class in the school, they can find out which sport is going to be the most popular in the school and where they must spend the money to build sports facilities. Okay, so after we sent the survey to each kid in the school, grade 6H's class, this is the results that came back. Okay, and remember, this is just an example. So of the girls, okay, most of them preferred soccer. So there were, let's say there were 12 girls, okay, and 5 girls really loved soccer, okay. 2 of them said they want to play hockey. Okay, 3 of them said they want to play rugby, okay, because they're quite tough. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 of them said they want to play tennis. Okay. Then amongst the boys, okay, because boys always want to go and rough each other up on the rugby field, most of them wanted to play rugby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wanted to play rugby. Okay, but overwhelming, or quite a lot of them wanted to play soccer. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, only one of them wanted to play tennis. None of them wanted to play hockey for some other reason. Okay, so what I can do now is I can group them into groups of 5. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5 in there. Okay, I've only got 2 here, so I'm going to leave it as 2. 3 here. 2 here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a group of 5. Plus 1 is 6. Okay, then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 over there and 1 over here. Okay, now that I've got my data, okay, I've sent a survey out to the kids that was collecting the data. This is now organizing, this is how I've organized my data. Okay, so I've collected the data and I've organized it in a way that I can more or less see. I'm fitting it into categories. Okay, so the next step in data handling is representing data. So here I've chosen to use a bar graph. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the data that I've now collected, I've organized it, and now I'm putting it into a graph. Okay, and a graph is just going to allow me to see, to analyze this data and look at it a bit easier. It's in a way that comes across as being a lot easier to look at. Okay, so there's a couple of things with a bar graph that you have to have. Okay, the very first thing is your heading. Okay, you have to let the person who's looking at the graph know what they're looking at. Okay, in this case, it's students' sports preferences. So in other words, what sports do these kids prefer? That's the question I asked them. Those are the surveys that I did. And now this is the title of my bar graph. Okay, then you're going to have your y-axis, which is going to have the number of students. Okay, and you're going to have sports types. Okay, these are titles that you have to have in there. Okay, you have to say what you're looking for on this axis and what you're looking for on this axis. Okay, so number of students. Because we're typically dealing with small numbers here, okay, we're not going to make our graph go up to 100. Doesn't even need to go up to 50. Okay, because all my numbers I can see are below 10, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and I'm going to keep my numbers fairly small because it always starts at 0 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so my numbers are going to go up to 10. Then on this axis, I've said sports types. Okay, here I've got my soccer, hockey, rugby, and tennis. Okay, and then you can see I've split it up into girls, number of girls, and number of boys. Okay, here it says in my key, blue stands for boys, red for girls. And this is a graph key. Okay, it's also known as a legend. Okay, so I've done the first one for you. We looked at soccer and we saw that the girls, there were 5 girls that wanted to play soccer. That was their favorite sport. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in red I've made a bar for the girls. Next to it, there were 6 boys who wanted to play soccer. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've put in 6 there. Okay. Then the next sport was hockey. How many girls wanted to play hockey? If I look back at my survey that I did, only 2 girls wanted to play hockey. So we take our red pen, because remember, girls are red, and we go 1, 1, 2. There were only 2 girls, and I make a line across. Okay, guys, I'm doing this freehand, but please use a ruler. Okay, I'm doing it freehand just because I'm doing it on the board. But guys, never, ever, ever, ever do a graph without using a ruler, please. Okay, so everything with a ruler. How many boys wanted to play hockey? And I see there, no boys. Okay, so we can just leave that empty. No boys wanted to play hockey. Okay, then the next one is rugby. In my survey, 3 girls wanted to play rugby. Okay, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, and I make a line across with my ruler, and I go 1, 2, 3. Please remember again, I am going freehand. You need to use a ruler. Of the boys, there were 5 who wanted to play rugby. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. go across. Okay, and 5 boys wanted to play rugby. Okay, then we go to tennis. And of the tennis, 2 girls wanted to play tennis. Okay, of the boys, only 1 of the boys wanted to play tennis. Okay, now I'll go to my next step. Okay, now I've got my bar graph. Okay, the types of sports, soccer, hockey, rugby, tennis, the number of students who wanted to play each sport. I've split it up into girls and boys, girls and boys, girls and boys, girls and boys. Okay, now I'll go to my last stage of data handling, and that's analyzing and interpreting. Okay, so the last stage is analyzing and interpreting. Okay. Right. So if I were the person or the principal who wanted to build sports facilities at this school, what sports facilities would you build first? Okay, let's have a look at it. Tennis courts are very expensive. Only 2 people can play, or 4 people can play tennis on a tennis court at any given time. But only 3 kids of this class want to play tennis. So is it going to be worthwhile building a tennis court just for those few people? Probably not. Okay. What about hockey? We've got 2 people out of the whole class who want to play hockey. Am I going to go and build a whole hockey field, mark it out, make goalposts just to play hockey? No. Okay, but then soccer and rugby. Both the girls and the boys look very keen on playing soccer and rugby. Okay, so I can see there now, I'm analyzing my data and I'm saying, which of the sports are the most popular? Definitely soccer and rugby, okay? Tennis and hockey are just not popular amongst these kids. So I've analyzed my data and I've interpreted it and I've said, okay, if I'm going to build facilities, I'm going to build soccer and rugby facilities. Okay, so there, I've represented my data in a bar chart, I've analyzed it and interpreted it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so another way of representing data is by using a pie chart. I've done the pie chart up here for you, using exactly the same information. Okay, so remember we did the survey and we asked the kids, which sport would you rather play? Hockey, soccer, tennis, or rugby? Okay, now this is when we are analyzing and interpreting the data. So in other words, what do we want to do with the data? We wanted to see where the school is going to spend its money on sports facilities. Now looking at this, the yellow, if I look at my key, is soccer. The green is rugby. The tennis is in the blue, and the red is hockey. Okay, now this chops up, it takes a survey and it takes that data and it puts it into percentages. Okay, so you can automatically see here that the yellow, which is soccer, is 45%. So 45% of my class of the grade 6Hs want to play soccer. 34% want to play rugby. Only 13% want to play tennis. And only 8% want to play hockey. Right. So as a school, if I'm going to build new school sports facilities, where should I be putting my money? Okay, clearly into soccer facilities and rugby facilities. And there it's very easy for me to see the data that has come from collecting the data from the kids into a way that you can make decisions from it. Okay, and that is an introduction to data handling.